My name is Natalie Mims, a 32-year-old woman. My husband, Jake, is 4 years younger than me, 28 years old. We met at our workplace, fell in love, and got married last year. Jake joined the workplace after me. When we first met, Jake had just transferred from another company, and he seemed like a young, somewhat naive guy. I didn't particularly see him as a romantic prospect at first, but things changed the day I came into the office with a tear-stained face after being dumped by my previous boyfriend. Jake took great care of me, buying me coffee, stepping in for me at meetings. I started to see him as a man with a true gentleman's sensitivity. From there, our relationship progressed quickly and we got married about a year after we started dating. The reason I fell in love with Jake was because he's the kind of person who looks out for others and is very compassionate. However, people have many sides to them. Today is Sunday, a day off from work. We should be enjoying a peaceful day as a couple, but we have a major problem now. Her name is Diana Whitestone, a 26-year-old woman. She is my husband's childhood friend. Jake and Diana were next-door neighbors growing up. They were family friends, and frequently visited each other's place since childhood. I suppose this is why Diana often comes to our house. Our house is technically owned by my father-in-law, but Jake and I are the ones paying the mortgage. Perhaps that's why Diana drops by so casually, acting as though it's only natural. Diana is also married and lives near her parents' home. Her husband often comes home late from work, which leads to Diana visiting us about twice a week. Today is Sunday, so I'd assume Diana's husband would be off work, but here she is at our place anyway. I wonder if she feels like Jake was stolen from her by me. She frequently brings up stories from when Jake was a child in front of me. Do you remember that trip we took during middle school summer vacation, Jake? I recently found the bracelet we bought as souvenirs in my room. Oh. The one we bought at the souvenir shop, right? You were so fond of it, and wore it all the time, even to school although they weren't allowed at school. The story is about a family trip from their childhood, but she seems to show off the world they shared, full of memories. While Diana discusses these stories with an innocent face, she intentionally avoids eye contact with me when doing so. She often recalls the past, their common teachers in elementary school, stories of playing together at the local park, how Jake taught her basketball. It's as if she's claiming that she knows Jake best. I did ask Jake about it. Don't you think Diana visits too often, Jake? I'd worry if I were her husband. Nah, Diana's always been like this. She used to frequently come to my parents' place, too. There was even a period when she was there every day. Don't worry about it. He told me not to worry, and I couldn't say anything more, but I can't help but worry. Jake is also part of the problem. He always prioritizes Diana. One day, when Diana casually dropped by again, she noticed some cosmetics I had left in the bathroom. It was a brand new toner that cost more than $100. I had just bought it after my bonus was paid out. I'd been intrigued by its good reviews but had hesitated to buy it because it was a bit pricey. I had only used it for 2 days. And Diana noticed that toner. She asked Jake from the bathroom. Jake, can I have this toner that's sitting here? Toner? Sure, take as much as you want. Yay! I'm taking it, then. This is not a joke. I had restrained myself from buying it and had just managed to get it, but now Diana was taking it. Unbelievable. I complained to Jake in a whisper, so Diana couldn't hear. Why are you letting Diana take my toner without asking me? Come on, it's just a toner. It's no problem, right? That toner is from a high-end brand and cost more than $100. I just got it. Well, then it's even better to give it to Diana. What does that mean? I said, and Diana approached us. What are you whispering about? It's nothing. Right, Natalie? That's where the conversation ended. I was so upset that I couldn't calm down. I told them I was going out to do some shopping and headed to the nearby gas station. These sorts of things happen quite a lot. Last month, on my birthday, we had plans to go out for dinner. However, on that very day, as we were about to leave, Diana came over. To my astonishment, Jake casually invited Diana, asking her, "Do you want to come along with us, Diana? It's my birthday." Why was Diana coming with us? Why can't it be just the two of us? Moreover, he even asked Diana, "What do you want to eat, Diana? Pick whatever you like," without ever asking me, the supposed star of the day, what I wanted to eat. Diana wanted some pizza, and that's what we ended up having. And just like that, my birthday was over. I thought this was terrible and wanted to cry a little, but I couldn't complain to him in front of Diana, so I persevered. Once Diana had left that day, I tried to complain to Jake. "I have something to discuss with you." "A talk? Can we do it later? I'm going to bed." He brushed me off and headed towards the bedroom. "What? Wait. Listen to me. Today is my birthday. Why did we have to take Diana along with us? And why did you let her decide what to have for dinner?" "Well, it just happened that Diana came over on your birthday." "Did it bother you that much?" "Yes, it's strange. Who takes a female childhood friend along on his wife's birthday dinner? When you married me, you knew you were also accepting my relationship with my childhood friend, Diana. We grew up together, and we're like family to each other. I'm going to bed now." I felt like I was being tricked somehow, but it seemed like he genuinely saw no problem with having Diana along with us for my birthday dinner. Once again, I was left frustrated. Jake and I had planned a vacation to the Bahamas during the summer break. We live in downtown Atlanta, and the Bahamas is less than 3 hours flight away. It was a great destination for us, since we couldn't secure any long holiday. We had been saving some money for this summer trip. I was really looking forward to our trip. "Hey, how about trying diving in the Bahamas?" After watching a documentary about diving on Netflix, he got interested in going to the Bahamas and started looking more into it. Apparently, there are beautiful diving spots in the Bahamas. I also watched the documentary with him and was captivated by the quiet and beautiful underwater world, uttering, "Wow, so beautiful," many times. I was secretly delighted, thinking that Jake might remember my reaction. Going on a dive in the Bahamas with him, I was even more excited about our trip. Exactly 1 month before the trip, Diana got divorced. As usual, she came to our place and started talking about her divorce. "My husband said he wanted a divorce and just left. He's 10 years older than me, but he's like a spoiled boy or something. I don't know if he thinks it's okay as long as he works, but he said he might not be able to come home today, so I stayed at my friend's house. He then made a fuss, saying I was having an affair, and that's why we're divorcing." "I thought he was a good husband for you, Diana. He's very mature." "Yeah, he was mature. But he was also incredibly boring." "Well, if that's the case, it's better you parted ways." "Hey, Jake, will you celebrate my birthday for me? I was planning to go on a trip with my husband if I hadn't divorced, but now I have no plans." Diana's divorced? I had a bad feeling about that. Unfortunately, my hunch was right. We're canceling our trip. We're going to celebrate Diana's birthday instead. Jake came back from his parents' house and said that all of a sudden in late July. Hearing that, I felt resigned as I saw this coming. His feelings were no longer with me. So, I replied with a smile. "Go ahead, have a good time." I had asked Jake several times about his relationship with Diana. They were just too close to be just childhood friends. Watching how close they were, I directly asked him once, "Are you dating Diana?" In response to that, he replied, "Diana and I are just childhood friends. We have nothing to hide." He often prioritizes Diana, and when I speak against it, he always dismisses me. However, I noticed that there seemed to be some secret between them when they exchanged glances when they thought I wasn't looking. It was my husband, so I was conflicted for a while, but I decided to hire a detective to investigate possible infidelity. And the results of that investigation reached me yesterday. The result was affirmative. Jake and Diana were having an affair. The day after he said that our trip was cancelled, I called in sick at work and went home early. With the documents from the infidelity investigation in hand, I went to talk to both my in-laws and Diana's parents. Honestly, I was very scared of what they might say. Would they calmly acknowledge the wrongdoings of their son and daughter? Or would they emotionally blame me, making the situation even worse? But I had the infidelity investigation results as undeniable evidence. I clenched the envelope containing the documents tightly. As I explained the sequence of events, both my in-laws and Diana's parents were shocked. After a moment of silence, my father-in-law said, "I am so sorry, Natalie. Our son has done something terrible." First, my father-in-law apologized to me. "What on earth is he thinking?" "I am truly sorry, Natalie. We have caused you so much trouble. Diana. She's now having an affair with Jake after getting a divorce because of her affair. What on earth is she thinking?" "Honey, you have to knock some sense into her. You've always been too lenient with Diana." I was relieved. Both sets of parents were reasonable people. I was glad I had the courage to go and talk to them. They were very angry that their son and daughter had been involved in such an affair. "We raised them together like siblings, but we never intended for them to have such an inappropriate relationship," my father-in-law said adamantly. We then discussed how to deal with Jake and Diana, how to make them apologize and reflect on their actions. The plan was put into action the morning Jake and Diana were set to leave for their trip to the Bahamas, at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. On the day of execution, both sets of parents were waiting to ambush them, who were about to board a direct flight to the Bahamas from the airport. Oblivious to this, the two, holding hands and pulling their suitcases, arrived at the check-in counter at the first terminal of the airport. They arrived looking cheerful and lovey-dovey. As they stopped to check the location of the counter on their phone, their parents approached them. "Jake, what's the meaning of this?" "Dad, why are you here?" "I asked you first. I saw you walking hand in hand with Diana." "Dad, today's Diana's birthday, and I gifted her a trip to the Bahamas. We're heading there now." "The trip is cancelled." "Jake, it's clear that you're having an affair with Diana." "That's not true." "Who even told you that?" "It must be Natalie." "Don't believe what Natalie says." "Shut up. We've already investigated everything. We all know that you and Diana were having an affair. Now, we're going home. We need to talk." "Listen. We're not having an affair, believe me." "Diana, shut up. Your shameful acts have truly disgusted me. Are you really our daughter?" Jake and Diana remained silent, looking down. They realized that this was indeed a serious situation. "Let's go." They obediently followed my father-in-law's lead and returned to their family home in his van. "Come on, both of you, get out," urged my father-in-law, and they reluctantly entered the house through the front door. I was waiting alone in the living room. Jake noticed me and started. "Natalie." He could not find more words to say. Both Jake and Diana looked at each other and then awkwardly looked down. I hired a private detective to investigate the affair. Once both sets of parents, mine and Diana's, were gathered, I informed the two about the results of the private detective's investigation into their affair. Their infidelity had been ongoing even before Jake and I got married. I figured that Diana married her ex-husband when we had just started dating. Even after our marriage, Jake continued his relationship with Diana. "Jake, what on earth were you thinking? If you always liked Diana, you should have married her," my mother-in-law said. "I thought it would work out well if I got married too since Diana got married," he replied. "What? Work out well? I am flabbergasted. So you married me out of jealousy towards her?" "Yes, I did." "What's wrong with that?" This is when I finally learned his true color. I always thought he was someone that had compassion and looked out for others. "Jake, do you understand what you're saying? You're not in a position to be defiant." "Well, but I like Diana more than Natalie. So it can't be helped." "Why haven't you apologized to Natalie yet? You are a grown man. Do you have no shame? What now? I never liked Natalie, but I've still been considerate towards her. You idiot! Just shut up. It was quite a terrible story. I was on the verge of tears. I reflected on my lack of discernment, belatedly realizing that I had been living with such a man. And according to the investigation results, to my astonishment, he was also playing around with several women he met on a matching app. When I told them this, Diana angrily confronted him, saying, "Wait, what is that about?" But according to the investigation results, she also had another affair that caused her divorce. Both of them were at fault. That's what I would like to know, Diana. Diana's ex-husband, Bob, who had been living together until a month ago, appeared from another room. Bob was not initially involved in the plan to punish Jake and Diana. Today is Diana's birthday. Bob came this morning to tell Diana that he wanted to start over with her. They were originally planning to go on a trip for her birthday, but they ended up getting divorced, and he thought she would probably be spending her birthday alone, so he came to ask if they could start over again. What's an affair? I can also be blamed for neglecting Diana because I was always working, which is also why we got divorced. That's why he came to pick up Diana at her parents' house this morning, and there, he ran into her parents who were about to go to the airport, and learned about the affair between Jake and Diana. Bob was a very nice person. Bob, why are you here? I came here thinking I wanted to start over with you. I thought you had an affair, because I didn't spend enough time with you. But, it seems like it was never my fault. I finally get it now. You were never genuine. It's a pity. No, that's not true, Bob. I don't care about Jake either. Do whatever you want. I'm going home. She looked as if she had messed up, looked up at the sky, and then sighed and looked down. I had finished explaining all the investigation results. Yet, it didn't seem like Jake and Diana intended to apologize to me. They were rather looking at me with a frustrated expression. That was the end of that day, and my father-in-law said he would contact me later. After all, I was able to divorce Jake. I didn't have a place to live after the divorce, so my father-in-law transferred a condominium to me. It was his way of apologizing for all the mess. He would be making the loan payments from now on, and since the divorce was caused by Jake's infidelity, I was also able to claim damages. Diana was also reportedly asked for additional damages by her ex-husband, Bob. I was finally free from my doubts towards Jake, which had been bothering me since the beginning of our marriage, and I am now living a peaceful life. For now, once my work settles down, I think I will take some paid leave and go to the Bahamas with my parents.